I'm going to use a 9x9 baking pan. I'm going to press the foil down into the 9x9 baking pan. Okay, so I'm going to take 2/3 of a cup of evaporated milk and pour that into my heavy saucepan. And 2 cups of white sugar. You have it on medium heat. So because you have it on medium heat, it's not going to burn if you don't stir it. Okay? So just stir it every now and again, just to keep the sugars and the milk stirred together, and then leave it alone and let it cook. Okay? And we're going to cook this to soft ball stage on a candy thermometer. Now, my candy is coming to a rolling boil. Now, another way to check if your sugar is at a soft ball stage, it's a third way, and it's not nearly as reliable. But when you're making fudge and you've made fudge for a while, you usually can tell if it boils for about 5 minutes on a rolling boil. Usually it gets to the soft ball stage. So I've been boiling for about 3 minutes. I'm not quite at the soft ball stage yet. I'm climbing quickly to the soft ball stage, but I'm not quite there yet. My other thermometers back. Now, when I get to the softball stage on the candy thermometer, I'm going to remove it from the heat, which in a gas stove is much easier because you can just shut the heat off and your heat source is immediately gone. So you're going to shut the heat off. That's what you love about a gas stove. On an electric stove, you actually have to shut it off and remove it from the heat. Because an electric stove, the heat source is still there. It takes a long time for the heat to cool down, so you actually have to remove it. Okay, I'm almost at the softball stage. And I'm going to remove it from the heat. I'm going to add the peanut butter, the marshmallows, and the vanilla. And I'm going to stir it until the marshmallows are melted. Okay, I'm almost at the soft ball stage. I'm just about there. And I'm going to use 1 cup of peanut butter, 10 ounces of marshmallows, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and 1 teaspoon of salt. And something you have to be very careful of here. Let me move my cast iron pans out of the way. Something you have to be very careful of here is the recipe calls for 10 ounces or half a package of marshmallows. Don't pay attention to the half a package of marshmallows thing. It really depends on the size package that you buy. My package said half a package, 10 ounces. I am now at the soft ball stage on the candy thermometer. So I'm going to remove my thermometer. I'm going to remove it from the heat source. I'm going to stir it. And I'm going to add my peanut butter. And I'm using crunchy peanut butter. And you can use crunchy or creamy, but I happen to know that Evelyn likes crunchy peanut butter. She likes peanuts. And I'm going to start stirring that around And I'm going to add my vanilla and my salt. And I'm going to add my 10 ounces of marshmallows. And I'm going to stir. It smells absolutely fabulous. It smells like peanut butter heaven. This is what it looks like as you start to incorporate and the marshmallows start to melt. And it gets harder to stir.
But it smells good.
It smells wonderful.
Is it like caramel and marshmallows?
It's peanut butter.
Ooh. Can I set it back down?
Yeah.
Do you know where I put my bill?
No. Okay, I have to use the fist because it's getting hard to stir. Okay. Just waiting for these marshmallows to melt. Now, some people like to leave a few marshmallows in there unmelted, and I don't normally like to do that. I like to melt the marshmallows, but for the sake of my arm, I'm tempted. Just because it gets so hard to stir after a while. To get these marshmallows all incorporated. The unfortunate part about making fudge is you have to be strong. Because the stirring part is difficult. The fudge starts to cool, and as the fudge starts to cool, it hardens. And as it hardens, it gets more and more complicated to stir. So you fudge eaters out there need to appreciate those of us fudge makers for the hard work we put into stirring this fudge so that you can have smooth and creamy and yummy fudge that is delightfully delicious. Because we put arm work into it, I tell you. Okay, I think I'm there. I have a smooth and creamy fudge. Where everything is incorporated. And I'm going to get out a good strong spatula. And I'm going to get the fudge off from my spoon. And I'm going to move over here to my pan and just hold it up. This is because I'm trying to use 3 hands and I only have 2.
I was not Chef Matthew today, but I probably will be tomorrow.
Yeah, well, you're a good boy.
Try to get as much as you can to make it more delicious and more flavor. Or, ow.
Yeah. Careful, don't touch the pan. Just keep your hand on the handle.
I know, but there's a metal piece right there.
I know.
I'm trying not to touch.
I know. Okay, that's good. Okay, so you want to work fairly quickly, which I am not, because I have children. They're interrupting you with their new police outfits. You want to try to spread the fudge out as quickly as possible So I need you to, excuse me, please, darling. And get it out to the corners as much as possible before it cools too much. Because the more it cools, the more difficult it is to work with. And you'll see as you work with the fudge that it cools very quickly when you're adding marshmallows to it. There. Okay. And there you have the perfect pan of peanut butter, crunchy peanut butter fudge. And this is not an extremely popular fudge, meaning not everybody in the world eats peanut butter fudge. But once you've had peanut butter fudge, you're never going back. Let me just say that. Okay?